are prepared to break the silence. I'll be out in the sunshine, running beside the lions. I've been feeling down, but I've been looking up, afraid to fall. God, I've been so down, can you pick me up? Don't let me fall. Can you show me how to fix this mess? I am down and on my knees, and I may fall as I'm so close to the end.
How are we all? Clearly, I haven't put my camera on. I am so far behind, so just lackluster. However, we are here. Welcome back to Turf Morehouse TV, first and foremost. Do appreciate everybody who's coming on. Apologies that I had to put a video out the other day for anyone that had to see that. But there is a lot of idiots in our fan base. The haters I can deal with. I can deal with being told the content shit or whatever. I can take that. But there's certain people that you think are genuine, turn out to be big arseholes, basically. Let's just, let's call it as it is, shall we? Anyway, let's not give them any more airtime. They got 20 odd minutes out of me in another video. That should be more than enough. So yeah, please do, if you are new around here, subscribe to the channel. Please do obviously drop a like on this video as well, because I appreciate everybody who comes and watches these programs and shows and content, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, please do show your support for us. Today we are obviously here for a match review on the England game, and it was an absolute cracker, wasn't it? I don't think I need to tell you it was a cracker. The ladies did us proud, and I've got a lot of, well, I was meant to have 3 guests, but I've currently got 2. Whether the third arrives, we will see. But as I said, you can find us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. Well, it's pointless me telling you, so I'll let the video do the talking. So it'd be pointless you guys just sat here listening to me talking about the game of football that we all witnessed the other night. So it's best to probably get a gouging response from other people looking in. Brad, alongside myself, was at home watching the game. Ryan, jammy get, managed to bag a ticket, ditched me for the watch along, but we still won. So I let him off. But yeah, welcome back, Brad. It's been a while. And yeah, first and foremost, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel, and plug your socials.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me on. You're right. It's been a while. It's good to be back on the show, and it's going to be a fun topic to talk about with what the women have achieved. If you want to follow me on the socials, best way to do it is on Twitter. It's at Fulltime Focus. It's all one word. There's no underscore or anything in that. It's at Fulltime Focus. And if you just want to be extra awesome, there's a link at the start to my YouTube channel in my bio. If you click that, it'll take you to a YouTube channel called A Matter of Opinion, where we just discuss topics and all. It's a free space for people to give their opinion on the subject in hand. If you could give that the new video I put up a like, and if you enjoy it and subscribe, that'd be great. But yeah, thanks for having me on. And obviously, if you're new here, make sure you're hitting all the likes and subscribes as well.
Oh, please do. Thank you very much. As I say, please do check out Brad's channel. The link to Brad's channel is in the description of the video, same as Ryan's. But yeah, I mean, show everybody your support if you can in this stream. Ryan, as well, obviously, as I say, you were there. You witnessed it. You saw it firsthand. History in the making. 50-odd years of hurt has just been subsided by the Lionesses. So, you know, I must say I am jealous that I wasn't there myself. But yeah, you're just starting out on this sort of journey of YouTube and stuff, following Huddersfield and the Lionesses. But yeah, plug your socials, and how are you?
Yeah, thank you for having me on firstly. Again, Dan, I really appreciate it. I'm all right, thank you. Still very much buzzing from obviously the massive win on Sunday for sure. But yeah, you can find me on my YouTube, Huddersfield Town Fan TV. Yeah, I do plenty kind of different things, you know, previews, reviews, predictions, and vlogs. Just most recently, obviously, I did vlog the game at Wembley. So yeah, please go and check that out if you want to do that. But yeah, you can also find me on my socials, Instagram and Twitter, HTFTV8. So yeah, please go and give me a follow on that. I really appreciate everybody's support so far. It's been fantastic this last 2 months since I started this journey.
No, it has indeed. It has indeed. I'm so happy that we managed as well during one of the women's watch-alongs that we managed to get Ryan to 100 subscribers. We managed to nail that and get into that. So thank you very much for all that support. So please do show Brad and Ryan the love and support that they deserve, because they both do. They do some cracking stuff in their own sense of the channels. So please do support them. Just having a look at a couple of comments then before we get into the main stuff. Henry says, evening, Dan. Hope you are well. Tyler says, hi. Henry says hi to Tyler. Chris is in. He says, big up the panel. And yes, I'm buzzing. Watched the highlights about 10 times. See, since then, I've watched the highlights as well. Can you tell? I've watched them that much that I no longer have highlights left in my hair. I am now fully bald. But no, I'm the same as you. The highlights have been phenomenal to watch. And no matter how many times you watch them, it has been, it's still as exciting as the first time. The missus is in, as usual, obviously making sure that everything goes well. So hello to your fine self over there behind the camera. Chris says hi to the chat. So I hope everyone is well in the chat, as Chris says there. Kate says hi. People saying hi to everybody. Rich is in. He says the main man himself still delivering content. It might only be one time a year, like Father Christmas, but I will still deliver. I will still deliver. Kate says it's been similar here today, with the weather. Dan Matt says content nowhere near shit, mate. Talk's in as well. Just been speaking with Talk. He says, yo, please do go show your support to Talk as well. He does do a channel called Football versus Cancer, which is fantastic. And it's all about charity. So obviously, we've all had somebody suffer throughout our lives. Go show Talk your support. It does some cracking stuff. And he's helped me out, especially a lot today as well. Dan's in. So from one Dan to another. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you are well. Henry says, hiya, Ryan. Kate says, good evening, Ryan and Brad. Henry says, hi, Brad. Dan's saying, hi, Kate. So, Dan Max says, I'm very proud to be a hater, not of the content, but of your eye after the shot. I don't know whether you can still see it, but there is a scar there. And sort of where I was wearing glasses. I was wearing my glasses, and I've gone to save the ball, and the ball's gone straight through my hands and just gone whack. It was a very painful one. But don't worry, I've not holded a grudge. I mean, I've not seen you since, but I don't hold a grudge. Everyone's saying hi. Kate says, knew we should have done a road trip to Wembley. Yeah, we should have done. We should have done. Chris Welch is here. This is evening, lads. Hope you're well. Kate's very well as well. Henry's good. Added me as a mod to a channel. Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much. Chris is absolutely boiling hot weather here in Stranraer, which is Narnia world at the moment for Scotland, having hot weather. Yeah, I agree. But now we are up to date with the comments. So let's get into the content, what we are here for. I obviously know that Brad is pushed for time as well because he's on another show at 9 o'clock. So I will gouge Brad's, not ours out, but I'll gouge his reaction to to the finale the other night. I mean, wow, what a performance. It just goes to show that football isn't dead, and I don't mean that in a sense of, when it comes to us watching the men's, we got to the final this year. It'd have been great to have two successes back to back, but the Lionesses went one further than the men's and provided that killer instinct and made us all believe again.
Yeah, they did. They did a really good job of it. I mean, there's been a few tongue-in-cheek comments about saying it took them, the women asked them 56 years ago to go and get it again, and they gave up, and that's why the women came in and said, we'll do it ourselves. And you have to applaud exactly what they did. I think the men's game has developed away from this a little bit, but it really does show what happens when 11 footballers, let's say like 13, 14, 15, 16 footballers, or how many numbers England put out throughout the tournament, go out there and just go out there to represent England. They don't care that so-and-so plays for Chelsea and Man City and so-and-so plays for Arsenal and so-and-so plays for Spurs. I don't think there's any Spurs players in it. Maybe that was one of the bigger problems. But you know what I mean? They don't seem to take that rivalry on the pitch, which has been blamed towards the main game. I mean, the Golden Generation, some of the big names from that even admitted they didn't like certain players and didn't coerce with them a bit sometimes representing England. It was nice to not see any of that at all from the women's side. I think that's the biggest difference between the men's and the women's. And you know what? Football came home. Doesn't matter what gender they were brought home. It's just great to have as a country experience it, because there's every other country that got knocked out or got didn't get to the final or whatever, they haven't experienced it yet. So it's a great achievement, not just for the women, but it's a great achievement for England as a nation, and it was brilliant to watch. Perfect opposition as well, wasn't it, Dan? Scripted from what the men's won. Germany. All right, Germany were a whole country this time. It wasn't West Germany, but still, it was England, Germany. It was that. Couldn't have done it any better, could you? Really?
No, it's took its time, Ryan, hasn't it? History has repeated itself. England have beaten Germany in a final and won again. Another sort of, shall we say, our very own version of the Jules Rimet. But it has come home. It was already home. But this is where it is staying. I mean, you were there at the game. Just try and sum up that. Just try and emphasise how good that atmosphere was. I mean, it must have been electric, not just inside the stadium, but the buzz around the place outside as well.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I was so lucky to get a ticket. I really was. And yeah, like I said, the atmosphere.
So look, are you joking? So look, you literally said, "Oh yeah, we'll be doing the stream." The semi-final ends 10 minutes later. Oops, sorry, can't do the final with you. I've bagged a ticket.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm very lucky that I got an opportunity to. Obviously, one of my fellow town fans had a spare ticket, luckily, so I went along with him. So, it was one of those. But yeah, I mean, the atmosphere was incredible. I've never experienced anything like it, Dan. I really haven't. The atmosphere outside, you could sense the excitement around the stadium before the game, and then when you was in there, I've never witnessed a noise like it ever before, and it was just literally goosebumps, and very kind of pinch me moment kind of thing. It was quite emotional actually to see. It kind of shows how big the women's game has become and how much progress you've seen over the years. And as you know, Dan, I'm a real advocate for women's football. I've followed women's football for years, and I'm so happy that they're getting the credit they deserve now, and we are slowly but surely getting, there in terms of the progress and getting the recognition that these women deserve. It doesn't matter, it's just an incredible journey they've been on, and it's just I don't know what to say.
No, I bet you don't. Brad, I mean, it's been a while coming. We there's been a lot said about the women's game in terms of mostly you've had Megan Rapinoe speaking about equal pay and rights, etc. in football. You've had, I mean, it just goes to show how much of a success it was when you were seeing the attendances. People weren't just turning up in drips and drabs. They were showing in numbers. We sort of, Wembley were probably more full for that final than it would have been for a League Two playoff final or League One, etc. It was great to see that there was an admiration for the women's game.
Oh yeah, definitely, and it's been a long time coming. I mean, I've spoken about this already. You know, I did a show on it myself where I discussed it. I think might have even been on it now. It might be one that you was on there with me, and we discussed women's football about it. And you know, it's a long time coming. And again, you talk perfect opportunity. You know, all right. You know, we talk perfect because it was Germany, it was the old enemy, and it was a final. And you know, but I mean, in the case of you couldn't have also picked a better timing for it. You know, no men's tournament. I remember, and this is the one thing that I don't like, which I kind of think we expected, was some people are going to get given the old, oh, you're only on the bandwagon thing. But, you know, I remember watching the heartache of them being the Lionesses getting knocked out against Japan in extra time to an own goal. They lost that game, I think 3-2. Someone might correct me with the score on that one, but I remember watching it, and I remember seeing comments sort of like it's only a warm-up before the men's tournament anyway, which we were shocking in, you know, so it didn't matter anyway. But the women did far better, if my memory serves me correctly. But, you know, it's the only twins to it. I don't want to dampen on it. It probably needed a summer where it could give its full focus and people could really appreciate and see the level where the women's are, because there's still some voices that have, and there is people out there that have had their head turned by this tournament going, you know what, fair dues, I was not liking it. I was a bit iffy on the whole women football thing, still a bit stuck in the old ways. And people have, you know, seen it. And again, we're not just seeing it with the coverage it's getting and in the attendance, we're seeing it with the way it's being represented on the media. You know, it's almost like the occasion was created for it. You couldn't have picked, you know, the home of football to not, you know, to bring home football and, you know, and do it in such a way. You know, no men's football. Everybody wants to watch a major tournament. It was fantastic to see, and it was some really good high quality football. And you know, seeing these teams now being taken on by their own clubs. You know, because that was the biggest thing. You know, even when women were starting to get accepted in football, even my club didn't own them until a few years ago. You know, and they've grafted so hard to get on a field that should never have been divided. And
no, I agree.
This is just the sum of it. This is like the perfect way to go out there and say, this is why we deserve to play. They're playing the same amount of games, playing international levels. They're doing, you know, you could argue sometimes when they ask for the balance of pay, that you have to, like in tennis, if you're going to play 5 sets up the men, then fair enough, you will gladly get it. That's a whole different topic for a game. But you see what I mean? Because now the women are saying, well, we'll do it. It has to be talked about now. They have to be able to command the close to the fee of the men. Still needs a bit of a less bigotry with the TV rights and all that. That's the next challenge for them to overcome, which I'm sure they will. But they should be able to command that sort of fee for it as well, for what they're doing.
No, I agree with you. I mean, Ryan, we spoke till the early hours last night about this, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
You know, we were saying about how, you know, as you said there, Brad, you know, about how Leicester have only sort of just took in the team as it was sort of a separate, you know, as though it was a separate animal. You know, we were the same. I said to you yesterday, Ryan, or this morning, however you want to look at it, that it was sort of, you know, the Burnley women's team were just the Burnley women's team. It was sort of in the background. But now that the club have sort of said, no, we want you as part of us. We want you to be in the same training facility as the men's. We want it, you know, we want you to sort of everyone be banded together. I mean, I think there was a video actually that's come out. Vincent Kompany is speaking to Jonathan Morgan, because obviously he was the former Leicester manager for the Leicester women's, now at Burnley, and obviously there's him and Vincent Kompany talking, and he says, listen, I want your team to get involved in our first team training. You know, I don't want there to be any segregation or any difference, which is fantastic to see in today's football. And as you say, Ryan, you're a massive advocate for it and for everything. And as you said last night, it shouldn't have had to come to the point of the successes of a tournament like this for it to now be spoken about as widely as it is. It should have just been happened, that natural progress, without having to have any success off the back of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You spot on. Like I said, I think that it's fantastic. You know, this tournament being hosted in this country, and it's been a massive success, hasn't it? You know, it's been a joy to watch. You know, there's been no trouble. It's been full of wonderful memories that we'll all treasure forever. But in terms of it shouldn't have had to come to this, like you say, in terms of having success from a tournament. You know, to do it, but I suppose it can kind of trigger something, and it will completely change, women's football forever. This, it is to have this moment. It is fantastic, but I think that the progress we've seen will go to another level through this tournament. But and hopefully there's a push for obviously. I believe that women should, the women's team should play in the stadium where the men's playing, because I believe that that's what should happen. The facilities, it should just happen, because there shouldn't be that segregation still in that regard in terms of, the women's team having to play elsewhere. But that's just my opinion. But there will be a push for that now with this kind of success at the Euros.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we could talk all day about how much the women's game has had so much success off the back of this, and that how we are going to probably see a lot more changes coming over over the next coming weeks probably. But to the actual game itself, Brad, I mean, a great game for the neutral, end to end. England, to be fair, I honestly thought it was sort of going to be reminiscent of the men's, when Germany equalised, but that it's going to be that late heartache, but we found a second wind, and we finally got over the line in extra time. I mean, how did you see the game personally? I mean, looking from your side of things.
Yeah, I think the first half, the occasion got to the Germans, which is strange. They're given their faultless 100% record in the finals until this final. I mean, they've never lost a final when they've made it. I think they've got something ridiculous like 7 finals, 7 wins in the finals until they played us. I think that for the first time, that team was maybe overawed, because this was an England team that had developed through the years, that had nurtured. I mean, there was a couple of players. I believe Lucy Bronze has been playing since she was, for many years. A few of these, they've been together, they've grown, they've matured, they've developed, and they've dealt with their own stuff. We all remember that unfortunate incident that came out with one of the managers. I won't mention it because it was a very bad ordeal with who was in charge of England at that point and what happened. So they came for all that, and you came for a unit that you could just tell. In a way, it kind of reminded me of Leicester with Claudia. It felt like the manager just goes in there, because she says she can't really explain what she does. And I think sometimes you need a manager like that when you're there, that just galvanizes you, that just tells you to believe in yourself, and don't just slouch your shoulders and stand there raving at a teammate to lose the ball. No, already be there to pick that ball up. And you saw that in a game that was a bit cagey. It definitely had that cliche of a cagey rival final to it. But England controlled that ball better. Germany felt suffocated a little bit. And there was a few panicky moments. And you only really, I mean, even if you were neutral, I think you were saying, if one team's going to take the initiative here, it's definitely going to be England. And, when that occasion rose, it was right. We was right, to be in the lead. They worked really hard. They pressed a mistake. They caught them flat on the defensive line. And then obviously they switched off just for that 5-10 minutes. It's the dodgiest time, isn't it? Also, you're most vulnerable when you concede. Germans came out and they were looking better, but they never even looked to let it phase them. I felt there wasn't a lot of time left, but I felt that the Germans were completely done by that goal, because I think they felt they were beat. And I think if they'd have missed that chance, I think England would have saw the game out, because you saw the way they didn't even struggle towards extra time. Mine else could have grown back with comfort. if that was physically possible. But for the way it seemed to go, and that's strange when you're talking about England. Yeah, but my whole general consensus, even as a neutral, I think England played so well and they controlled the majority of that game. I do have to head off though, and I'm really sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. I totally understand. I was going to say one final question I've got to ask you.
Yeah, go for it.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Not just in terms of the women's game, but in terms of England as a nation. From now on, we've set a precedent. You know, obviously, I know Qatar. We won't even speak about that. That's dead tournament.
I mean,
but where do we go from here in terms of the football and the way it's going to evolve?
First of all, unless England win it, I think this will be Gareth Southgate's last tenure as England manager. And the reason I say that is, like any football, this international or club management, every manager comes to the end of the course. But if you like Southgate in or Southgate out, it's redundant. You're not going to replace him unless he does a Sam Allardyce or that Spanish manager. You know, unless he does something like that, he's not going to replace. So let's forget it. But after this tournament, and maybe even if we did go on to win it, let's just say that for the case. I'll be 1 minute, mate. I'm literally just wrapping up this question and I'll be there. I did see his message. I think what we've got to do is we've got to replace it with the same thing. Boring subject, boring sport, I know, but cricket's the same. They had a whole change in the head. They had, you know, for those who know, they got Brendan McCullum in, and they got, and you know, they made a change in the head. They made a change in the coaches. They made a change in the captaincy, and they played this Bazza cricket. I mean, cricket fans will know what I'm on about. They injected it with a no fear attitude, and if you look at the way the women played this tournament, same attitude was applied. If we get someone in who has that can install that no fear attitude, I think that's the way the English game goes forward as a future. Yeah, we might get you know, what was the song? We're going to score more goals than you. If we go out trying to do that and don't have a fear, yes, we might lose the odd game or two, but we're going to win more than we do. And that's why I think the future of England as a general sport need to go, mate.
Well, there you go. You've heard it from the FA's new, not so much of a yes man there, Brad Perkis, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go, buddy. Brilliant. Pleasure having me on, mate. I have got to shoot.
Thanks for everything. I'll make sure I shout your socials out towards the end, so take it easy, pal.
Cheers, buddy. Nice to meet you out as well.
Meet you, cheers. Yeah.
Take it easy, pal. See you later.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. And then there were two. I mean, let's get into the game then, Ryan. Throughout the history of the Women's Euros, there would only been 499 goals scored. Who was going to be the one that cropped up and get that elusive 500th goal? It had to be Ella Toone, didn't it? And what a fantastic lob and finish. Absolutely
sensational, wasn't it? You know, the ball, by the way, by Kira Walsh was outstanding. You know, the way she found the pass. But let's just put it out there, you know, Ella Toone still had a lot to do in this moment, and the pressure that was on her in that moment as well. But the way she had that confidence to chip it over the keeper and execute it to perfection, it was just incredible. And wow, what a moment. But yeah, it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
It was. I mean, obviously the feeling in the stadium would have been electric at that point. You know, you've gone 1-0 up. It must have just been sort of, with how dominant we'd been in that performance at that point, you'd have thought, that's it, the game's wrapped up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that obviously we were in complete control of that match throughout. And, you know, okay, you know, we did have a few moments where Germany did look a bit dangerous, for sure. But as a whole, we did control that match, which is really impressive, by the way, because obviously, you know, going into the game, the Germans obviously had won it 8 times, the Euros, so very experienced, you know, in the competition. Obviously, we hadn't won it ever before. So yeah, and yeah, it was, you know, the atmosphere as well. Like I say, it was great when that goal went in. It was just goosebump. It really was. But Germany, to be fair to them, Germany didn't give up. They kept going, and obviously there was no surprise who scored for them, because you know she McGull was outstanding all evening, really. She really was the main kind of player for Germany that was really looking dangerous.
Yeah, she was. And as you said there, there wasn't that long on the clock. I think it was under 10 minutes when the Germans equalised, and it was a bit of a sucker punch, wasn't it? As I said, for me, it just reminded me of the game for the men's against Italy. Conceding so late on, and I just thought, please, no, we cannot have any more drama. Like, I can't take any more as an England supporter. But let's speak about the German equaliser. Quite poor defending from us, really, for the goal. I thought we had quite a few tired legs in the build up to that one.
Yeah, absolutely. But to be fair, what I kind of summarise this goal as for Germany is that it was a very well worked move by the Germans. It really was. The speed of the play. Defensively we probably could have done better. But take nothing away from the Germans. It was a fantastic, well worked goal, and the finish was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I can see where you're coming from, Dan, but I still think it was an excellent goal. For them to score, and I know that potentially we could have done more, but sometimes you just got to give credit to the attacking team that score. Sometimes I think.
No, you do indeed, and as you could see there, that was Lena McGull with the equaliser, which nearly broke the hearts of our nation. Speaking of questions that could technically break my heart, Nipper says, club history aside, if Tony Mowbray was ever appointed as England manager, would you back him, or would Rovers past haunt you too much? I know full well Tony Mowbray will never get the England manager's job because he's shite. So let's just agree on that subject, to be honest. Henry says, yes, I agree, Dan. Rich is in as well. Rich Sports, hope you're well, Rich. As Kate says, welcome to the chat, Nipper and Rich. And Henry says, Millie Bratt couldn't cut it out. No, for me, I thought Millie Bratt, it's sort of, how do I word it? I don't think Millie Bratt had one of her best games. If anything, I thought Lucy Bronze was sort of quite orchestral in that defence. And I thought if I had to pick anyone across the back line who was weak, it was probably between Rachel Daly and Millie Bratt more than the other two. But that's sort of splitting hairs. If I'm to sort of pick a weak point in a, it's like picking a negative out of a positive. Nobody wants that. Kate says, hey, hope you are well. Nipper says, you have no idea how relieved I was after Chloe Kelly scored an extra time. Yeah, I bet. Truehead says, Kate, don't time me out this time. Yeah, she made that mistake last night. But obviously going into extra time, you must have been able to cut the tension with an half at Wembley.
Yeah, you could really sense that tension within the stadium. You really could, and me being one of them, very tense for sure. Because I think we all knew inside that stadium and around obviously the country that this was a massive moment, and what was at stake as well. It was just off the scale. What was at stake here for sure. So yeah, you could definitely sense that tension within. And yeah, obviously going into extra time, you kind of every time you go into extra time, maybe in a game, you're thinking to yourself, is it going to go to penalties? Is it not? And for me, I didn't really want it to be settled by penalties because I think it's a great way to win penalties, but it's just I think we kind of earned the right to win it in the in the extra time period rather than the penalties really. But yeah. Very, very tense within, but yeah,
it was. It's a difficult one to process, as you say. It was all excitement and joy. It was just a magical night, and to be honest, it obviously didn't stop there. The flash of brilliance and that never giving up from Chloe Kelly. Just put the icing on the cake, really. And as I say, didn't just send spans down people at Wembley Stadium, but around the world, by digging deep and taking a second stab at the cherry. And, as soon as you see that ball hit the back of the net, there's no greater feeling.
No, it's what every player dreamed of, isn't it? To win your nation at the tournament. It is it. And it couldn't have happened to a better person either. Chloe Kelly, what a player. She come back from an ACL injury, which is one of the worst injuries you can get, and the way she's come into this tournament, and from the bench, she's made an impact every single time she's come off that bench, and I believe that. And yeah, what a moment! Literally, emotions running high when that goal went in. I tell you that one. But yeah, the crowd just erupted. I've never heard any noise like it in my life. It was just so special, and just wow.
It was one of the moments. I think people. I can't remember who it was. I think it was something like Brandy Stanson or someone that scored in a game or something and took her top off and celebrated. I don't know whether that were in football or not, or some other sport. I read somewhere about something, but whether she knew she was going to get booked for that, but she didn't give a shit. She knew full well that would potentially be the goal that wins us that trophy, and it went from having one hand on it to obviously going, oh, this game isn't over yet, to us both basically 2 foot in the German out of the way and saying, oi, get off, it's our trophy now, it's our time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know if you saw the interview by Chloe, but she obviously did an interview, well, plenty of interviews, but she was asked about, about that yellow card, and she said it was probably the best yellow card she's received in her career. I bet it was, because I don't think anybody cared about that yellow card. Why not celebrate? You've got to celebrate that moment in the way you believe so, and I don't blame her for doing that. I believe once that goal did go in, I think that was it. I think that it was the time from that moment till the final whistle, of course, felt like forever. It really did, but we obviously did it. We did it, and when that whistle went, it was unbelievable stuff.
I bet it was. I mean, big shout out as well goes to 87,192 people. Basically, practically, well, I mean, it holds 90,000. So for me, the 3,500 probably were hospitality or people that couldn't make it, travel, etc. But only 3,000, well, less than 3,000 people, away from filling that stadium. That is a fantastic achievement, not just for the women's game, but in terms of, attendances in general, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But to see that high of attendance for a women's match, especially though, it is a massive moment. If you would have said that a few years ago, or maybe 5-10 years ago, would you say, sorry, that the England women's team were playing at Wembley Stadium in front of that amount of people? I don't think anybody would have believed you, and certainly none of the players probably would have believed you, because, like I say, all these players that have played, they've been on a journey. They've been told that they shouldn't play football, they shouldn't be, you know what I mean? And they've, especially the likes of Jill Scott and Ellen White, who obviously have been the most experienced ones in the group.
Yeah.
They've kind of been there from the beginning, and I kind of saw a tweet from Jill's mum actually on Twitter, and it really struck to me about how obviously she was obviously told that she shouldn't be kind of. I'll just get the message up here that she posted. Actually, she put what sticks in my mind is Jill's first competitive game, age 7. Only girl on the team, and one of the opposition's parents shouting, "Just kick her down, she's only a girl. Never give up on your dreams." And I thought she put that absolutely beautifully, and it actually, again, made me quite. I'm a very emotional person, me, but it did touch me, that post, because I thought, yeah, she the journey she's been on, along with the rest of the group, admittedly, but yeah, it's truly remarkable. It really is.
It is indeed. And obviously, the full-time whistle went, it was confirmed we were going to lift the trophy. It must have been a moment, hearing, your World Cup Euro winners for 2022, England, and then the trophy lift. I mean, must have been some sight to see.
It was absolutely fantastic. I was loving every minute along with everybody else in the stadium, and it doesn't feel real. It still didn't feel real at that moment. I just can't believe it hasn't sunk in yet. I don't think it. I mean, I suppose it's slowly sinking in, but it was the most beautiful moment in the world. The best moment ever. And yeah, it was just thoroughly deserving. They deserved every they deserved this. I said it right at the very start of the tournament. It was kind of written in the stars that we did this, and I believed it was our time to do it. I really did. And the fact that they got over the line and did it, it just makes me speak. Obviously, it was fantastic to see the trophy lift, and it just like I say, it didn't feel real, but I'll never ever forget that day. I'll never ever forget it, and I'll never ever forget seeing that trophy lift. But the whole occasion, the whole tournament, it's been an absolute joy. Like I said, it'll certainly stay with me forever that day. There's no question about that.
No, I bet it wouldn't. Obviously, I know you touched on Ellen White and you touched on
Jill Scott.
I mean, Lucy Bronze is another one who said it could potentially be her last. But, these players have been pivotal for England. But specifically in this tournament, there's one player that has stood out for England throughout. And for me, that's got to be Beth Mead. She finishes top goal scorer, top of the assists, player of the tournament. She's just been absolutely formidable throughout the whole thing, hasn't she?
She absolutely has. I mean, again, another inspiring journey from Beth, where she's come from, and obviously, it is truly remarkable. And the fact that she's made such a big impact on the biggest of stages shows how good she really is. Obviously, she's just taken the Euros by storm. She realised and took it in her stride, and yeah, such an exciting, skillful player. And she's just produced on the biggest stage, and you've got to applaud her for that and give her the respect she deserves, because it is a truly incredible achievement what she's managed to do in this tournament. There's no doubt about that.
No, 100%. Renee's off, so not a problem, Renee. Hope you have a good evening. Take care of yourself. Henry says, yes, I agree, Beth Mead. But yeah, we were today. We looked at the tickets for the October game against USA, and we are at a wedding. I'm part of the groomsmen, so it's not something that I can sort of just pop away from. A big, massive shout as well has to go to this woman here. I mean, she, in the last two tournaments that she's done in Euro history, 12 games, 12 wins, 2 trophies. That's with the Netherlands and with England. She has been an inspiration, been stepping in as Serena, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's been absolutely fantastic, and I've touched upon this before. But obviously she came in last autumn to the England setup, and she's really staked a claim. She's, what she's done is truly remarkable. And like I say, going unbeaten, 19 games I think it was with England, and I think that she wasn't scared to make a decision. In the biggest moments, obviously we saw it in the top throughout the tournament. She made, decisions, tactically, and and bringing people off the bench and bringing the players off. She's not scared to kind of make a decision, and that's what proves to me that she's a quality coach. The way she's backed herself, and I think she made the team believe going into this tournament that they could do it. She made the crowd believe that we could do it, and she made the country believe, most importantly, that we could do it. And yeah, I've got nothing but respect, plaudits. Incredible, woman. I just can't. I'm just blown away. And like I say, she is an inspiration alongside every single player of that squad who made a difference in this tournament. And and they're all role models to me. And yeah, it is just so special. I'm just lost for words still. It just feels unbelievable right now.
I bet it does. I mean, some of the unsung heroes that didn't really get a mention, as Henry says there, Mary Earps deserves a mention. She some of the saves she made in this tournament were key and pivotal to us getting success at the other end, because obviously it didn't give us as much of a job to do by having to claw many goals back in throughout the whole tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Mary Earps is a real quality goalkeeper. I think that she has made saves throughout the tournament that have been crucial. And in some games, obviously, throughout the group stage, she wasn't that busy at times. But when called upon, she did what she needed to do, and that was brilliant. Obviously, going to knockouts, yeah, she did make some fantastic saves, and yeah, I can't speak highly enough of her, really. I've always said that football is, you've got to start from the back of football, and obviously having a goalkeeper like that, it breeds confidence in the defence, because that you've got somebody behind you that is vocal. She's not scared, she's a very good organiser of a wall when the free kick goes in as well, and yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Speaking of fantastic, Henry's question is a fantastic one, which I'm going to put to you, Ryan. Do you think we made the right subs at the right time?
I think we did. Serena has got it spot on time and time again, and she did. She I don't know how she does it, but she always does it at the time that is literally perfect to make it. and it's like, wow, it's just incredible. But yeah.
How many times did we see it? I can't remember the first game we covered. I think it was the 8-0 one, wasn't it? Against
it was. Yeah.
Against Sweden. Not Sweden. God knows, man's gone. We beat somebody 8-0 anyway. There's been so much. The success has made as parked those 5-0 and 8-0s. Winning the trophy was the main thing. But we were saying when she took the likes of Beth Mead and Ellen White off, we're like, what? Like, what you playing at? But how much it changed the game was massive. So I'm with you. Yeah, I think subs at the right time, the right substitutions as well. I mean, how many times did she bring Ella Toone on from the bench, and Ella Toone cropped up with a vital goal?
Absolutely, or made an impact somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
As did all the substitutes, by the way. I mean, we've got to mention Russo. What Russo's done in the tournament is sensational. She's managed to get, obviously, third top goal scorer, and that's coming off the bench. I think that was kind of a record, actually, for what she's done in terms of, minutes that she's had, and getting so high and obviously getting the goal she scored. So that was a brilliant achievement. And yeah, every substitute that's come on, they've made a real impact, and it's just been a joy to watch this team. It really has, and it's only going to get better and better. And this game is going to grow and grow and it deserves to keep growing because, like I said earlier, it is a game changer for this country. And I just, you see the interest of the women's game now. It's going to go up even more, and we've probably record attendances in the WSL as well when it starts. So, and beyond. But I just hope from this, I hope there's more opportunities for girls to get into football. I know that obviously they kind of talked about, obviously, girls getting the chance to play football in PE at school. That's not so much this. Yeah. That's not so much the kind of opportunity. That's not so much kind of, doesn't happen that much, really, from my understanding, from reading stuff that I've kind of researched into. And that's totally wrong, and hopefully that has to change, and it will change, because girls will be inspired by this success, and if girls like football, they should be able to have the opportunity to do so like the men do, so you know what I mean. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it, really.
Right, it's all right. Glyn Wilson's in the chat. He says, all right, lads, just subscribe to both your channels. Keep up the good work. And up the Clarets, of course, obviously. I think he's probably sub to you, Ryan, feeling bad for you because we beat you. So,
Oh,
what it is.
You had to get that in, Dan, didn't you? I
Oh,
forgot.
I had to. It's all right. You've got a chance to redeem yourself later on in the season. Henry says Serena will talk about her contract when she comes back from holiday, but how long do you think the FA give her? I think you just leave it open and say you write what number you think. To be
Yeah,
honest, I
yeah,
mean she's done everything. She's done everything she can do in a sense. If she was to bring a World Cup home now for the England women's, she's pretty much just completed it. She could say a Jay Cartwright from the In-Betweeners, completed it, mate. Um, so
absolutely.
so yeah, I'd definitely say to infinity and beyond. Shall we quote? Alex is in to shout out to all the players who didn't get to play. Beth England, Lottie Woburn-Moy, etc. The whole team showed amazing spirit. 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. Let's have a look then at the team of the tournament. So obviously, as you can see there, Mary Earps is the keeper at the back. She was phenomenal. Gwyn of Germany is in there also with Heggering, but then so is Leah Williamson. I must say as well, the thing that Leah Williamson said as well in a after match, interview was massive, saying how much that people need to get involved with their local women's team, whether it's WSL or whether it's not. Get yourself involved, because it just goes to show what we can do and what the future can hold if you sort of believe in it. So yeah, well said by Williamson. Kira Walsh is in there as well. We've got the Spanish Bon Mate in sort of cam role, and Oberdorf, who for me, she won young player of the tournament, didn't she, Oberdorf? She won young
She's
player of the tournament. So she did all right. And then up top, we've got, it's majority of it's German of this team, but you've got Bull, Pop, and there she is, the woman of the hour, top goal scorer and top of the assists as well, I must say. Beth Mead. Is there anybody else you would have put in over somebody else in that one?
I think that Lucy Bronze probably found herself unlucky to miss out. For me, I think that Lucy Bronze throughout the tournament, she was very impressive. I think either Georgia Stanway as well. Georgia Stanway, what she did, when she played, outstanding, player. That I'm probably being biased here, but I don't know why.
Be biased all you want. Feel free.
But yeah, I mean, to me, yeah, probably Stanway and Bronze for me that should be coming in. But yeah, apart from that, probably. Yeah, collectively, you can't have every player in the England team of the tournament, so we'll let the others have their players.
Yeah, let's. Our team of the tournament would have been Earps, Bronze, Williamson, Bratt, Daly, Walsh, Kirby, Stanway, Mead, Hemp, Ellen White, and everybody else. We would have even had a subs of the tournament as well, and I'm sure they'd have all been English. Ryan, thank you very much for giving your assessment. Anything you would like to add in terms of, obviously we know that we're going to see a lot more of women's football now, especially after the successes, but is there anything you would like to say and you would add to the people out there?
No, I just think, I'm really excited to see how the future of women's football develops now from this moment. I think it will completely change everything. And yeah, I just, like I say, I hope there is the opportunity to, I know there will be. But yeah, what a joy it has been to cover the Euros. Like I say, a fantastic, well done, congratulations to everybody in the England setup. Full credit to every single person that has done it. Even the substitutes that didn't make an appearance, they still made a difference, and they still helped us to get to that final and win it, I believe. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to seeing how we keep pushing for equality in this game, because we should be, you know, promoting the women's game and allowing the women to play in top quality facilities and to play in the stadiums as well alongside the men, because that is the way it should be. I believe that, and I think that we are getting to that where it will happen eventually. But yeah, I think that's all I've got to add. That's all I've got to add. But what a moment for our nation! And yeah, fantastic achievement. Like I said earlier, you know, they're all heroes. They're inspirations. They're role models. You know, they're incredible people, and I can't thank everybody enough for allowing us to, you know, obviously bring us so much joy to this nation, because it is just been a wonderful journey. But yeah, I'm waffling on now. But yeah, I hope you've got a sense of how I'm feeling and what I want to see in the future. But yeah.
No, 100%, 100%. Fingers crossed we can have all that included, that sense of belief. Kate says there, remember to subscribe to Ryan and Brad, who was in earlier as well. The link to both of those is in the description of this video. And she's even thrown my name in there. So yeah, please do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and hit the like button. And get those notifications turned on. As she says, it's all free and helps the channels grow. So Ryan, without further ado, promote your socials, promote what you've got coming up on your channel, and let everyone know where they can go and support you.
Yeah, as always, it's been a pleasure being on. So thank you for having me on. I've loved
Anytime.
it. But yeah, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Huddersfield Town Fan TV. My content coming up, there will be a preview of the game, for our game against Birmingham City on Friday night. And that'll be coming on Thursday. I'm wanting to do the Premier League predictions show, which is back. I kind of was very late, obviously. When I started, it was just at the back end of the Premier League season. But I'll be back again to do my predictions in the next few days. I'm not sure when. Probably Thursday as well, maybe tomorrow. I don't know yet. But yeah, that is coming. And I hope to be doing a vlog on Friday night. As it stands, I will be doing. But again, things can change. So I'm not promising anything, but I do love vlogging. I'm kind of loving the vlogging experience, and I'm kind of learning off others as well. But yeah, you can also follow me on my socials, HGFTV8 on Instagram.
He's got it down to a T now. He's got it down to a T.
Well, yeah, if you follow me on there, you can keep up to date with everything I post, whatever I do. But yeah, please subscribe to my channel on YouTube as well. Like I say, I really appreciate that. We're getting close to that 200 already, and I can't believe that I'm already saying that. But it is only like 40 away now, I think. So it's not that far away.
Wow. No, please do show your support to Ryan. He's doing some great stuff. So please do. As I said, the link to Ryan's video to Ryan's channel is in the description of this video. So yeah, please do go show your support. Luke says, buzzing for the upcoming days for the channel. Just can't get enough of it. Yeah, we can't get enough of football. We'll be back, not tomorrow, but we will be back on Thursday evening with 2 videos for you. You're getting a double dosage. So at 7:30, I think it is, I will be doing a match preview with a Luton fan. Ian from We Are Luton Town will be coming on to give us his thoughts on Burnley against Luton, which is obviously football being back at Turf Moor starts this weekend. And then at 9 o'clock, we will be predicting this weekend's championship fixtures with either Doug or Mark. I'm not sure, although Mark has sort of dropped off tonight. Don't know why. I'm sure he'll let me know. Fingers crossed he lets me know at some point. But I will leave you with the image. Kate says, I'm 23 away from 600, which would be very, very appreciative. As I say, please do like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the notification bell and support the other content creators that we have on as guests. But I will leave you with this image. England, Euro 2022 final winners. And yeah, remarkable achievement and something that will stay with us for quite some time. However, until Thursday, we will see you very, very soon with another video. Take care.